As we get older, many of us start to believe that staying healthy means working harder, moving faster, and pushing our bodies like we did in our younger years. But the truth is, after 65 or 75, our bodies have different needs. What kept us strong in our 30s or 40s might now leave us tired, achy, or even at risk of injury. That doesn't mean we can't live with energy and purpose, it just means we need to be wiser about how we care for ourselves. The real secret to feeling good in these golden years isn't found in exhausting workouts or strict routines, but in gentle, meaningful habits that support both body and mind. These are the habits that keep your joints moving, your heart strong, your mind clear, and your spirit light. In this video, I'll share 5 powerful, easy-to-follow practices that can help you feel healthier, happier, and more connected every day. You'll hear about real people, just like you, who have transformed their lives without overstraining themselves. Before we start, I'd love to know, where are you watching from today? Just drop your state or city in the comments below. And if you have any natural health tips of your own, feel free to share those too. Someone else might really benefit from hearing what's worked for you. Point 1. Walk with intention. You know, many people think staying active means pushing themselves to the limit, jogging every morning, lifting heavy weights, or following intense exercise videos. That's exactly what Ruth, a 73-year-old grandmother, believed. She wanted to keep up with her younger friends, so she started jogging every day. At first, it felt like the right choice. But soon, her knees began to ache, her hips grew stiff, and her energy was drained. She would come home exhausted, not refreshed. Instead of feeling stronger, she felt worn out and discouraged. One day, Ruth decided to stop fighting her body and start listening to it. She traded in her running shoes for comfortable walking shoes and began taking slow, mindful walks around her neighborhood. She didn't rush. She didn't worry about how far or how fast she went. Instead, she focused on enjoying the walk, feeling the fresh air on her face, hearing the birds sing, noticing the flowers in her neighbors' gardens. Little by little, her body began to thank her. The pain in her joints eased, her energy returned, and she started looking forward to her daily walks. Ruth's experience is backed by research. Walking at a comfortable pace helps older adults maintain heart health, lower blood pressure, improve balance, and even boost mood by releasing feel-good hormones. Just 30 minutes a day, most days of the week, can make a big difference without putting strain on your joints or muscles. Now, walking with intention doesn't mean you have to plan a complicated route or keep track of steps on a fancy watch. It simply means being present with each step, feeling your feet on the ground, breathing in deeply, and letting your mind relax. This kind of walking nourishes both your body and your spirit. If you've been feeling like exercise is too hard, or you've given up because it causes pain, take a page from Ruth's book. Start with a short, gentle walk today. Even 10 minutes can be a great start. You might be surprised how much lighter, calmer, and happier you feel when you move at a pace that respects your body's needs. And remember, sometimes the slow path is the one that takes you the farthest. Point 2. Embrace gentle yoga. George, a 76-year-old retired carpenter, spent most of his life relying on his strength. He was used to lifting heavy wood, bending, stretching, and standing for long hours in his workshop. But over time, the years of hard work started to show. His shoulders felt tight, his lower back ached every morning, and even simple tasks like tying his shoes or reaching for something on a high shelf became difficult. It frustrated him. He thought his days of moving freely were over. Then a friend suggested something George never imagined he would try: gentle yoga. At first, he laughed at the idea. In his mind, yoga was for young, flexible people, not for someone his age with stiff joints. But curiosity got the better of him, and he decided to attend a beginner's class at his local community center. The class was nothing like he expected. The instructor encouraged slow, careful movements and guided everyone to focus on their breathing. They used simple stretches and poses, some of which could even be done sitting in a chair. George noticed that while the movements were gentle, they were also working muscles he hadn't used in years. After the first few sessions, he felt less stiffness in his back, and his shoulders began to loosen up. Over the weeks, his posture improved, and the constant ache that had been his companion for years began to fade. Gentle yoga is especially helpful for older adults because it improves flexibility, balance, and joint health without straining the body. It can also lower stress, improve sleep, and boost mood by calming the nervous system. For people like George, it's a safe and effective way to keep moving without pain. Now, yoga has become George's favorite part of the week. He enjoys the peaceful atmosphere, the gentle music, and the feeling of leaving each class lighter than when he arrived. Most importantly, he's learned to listen to his body instead of pushing it past its limits. If you've been feeling stiff, achy, or less flexible lately, gentle yoga might be exactly what you need. You don't have to be flexible to start, you just have to be willing to try. A few slow stretches, some deep breathing, and an open mind can be the first steps toward a freer, more comfortable life. Point 3. Build strength gently. Eleanor, a 79-year-old former competitive swimmer, had always been strong and active. In her younger years, she thrived on pushing her body, whether in the pool or at the gym. But as she approached her late 70s, she noticed something troubling. Lifting heavy weights, which once felt empowering, now left her sore for days. Her joints ached more often, and she began to fear that her strength, and the independence it gave her, was slipping away. The turning point came during a visit to her physical therapist. Instead of recommending heavy training, he suggested a different path: low-impact strength exercises using resistance bands and her own body weight. At first, Eleanor was skeptical. Could something so simple really make a difference? But she decided to give it a try. She started small, doing bicep curls with light resistance bands, seated leg extensions from the comfort of her chair, wall push-ups, and gentle chair squats. These exercises challenged her muscles without putting pressure on her joints. Slowly but surely, she noticed changes. Her legs felt stronger when climbing stairs. Carrying groceries became easier. Even playing with her grandchildren felt effortless again. Research supports Eleanor's experience. Gentle strength training can help older adults maintain muscle mass, protect bones, and improve balance, reducing the risk of falls. It also supports daily independence, making everyday activities safer and easier. And the best part? It doesn't require a gym membership or heavy equipment. Today, Eleanor continues her strength routine 3 times a week. It takes less than half an hour, but the results have been life-changing. She feels confident, steady on her feet, and proud of the fact that she's keeping her body strong in a way that's safe and sustainable. If you've been avoiding strength training because you think it's too intense or risky, consider starting with gentle movements. Use a resistance band, your own body weight, or even light household items like water bottles. The goal isn't to lift the heaviest weight, it's to keep your body strong enough to support the life you want to live. Every small effort adds up, and over time, those small efforts can bring back the strength and confidence you thought you had lost. Point 4. Breathe deeply. Bill, an 81-year-old former marathon runner, had always defined health by how far or how fast he could go. For decades, running was his joy, his stress relief, and his proof that he was still strong. But as the years went by, his stamina began to fade. His legs felt heavier, his breathing more labored, and the aches in his joints made long runs impossible. He missed the feeling of energy and freedom that running had once given him. One morning, after yet another attempt to run left him exhausted, Bill decided to try something completely different, something his younger self might have dismissed as too simple. He began practicing deep, mindful breathing. At first, he committed to just 5 minutes each morning. Sitting comfortably in his favorite chair, he closed his eyes, inhaled deeply through his nose for a slow count of 4, held that breath for a moment, and then exhaled gently for a count of 6. It didn't seem like much, but within a few days, Bill noticed a difference. His mornings felt calmer. His mind was clearer. He had a steady, quiet energy that carried him through the day without the ups and downs he'd been used to. Over the weeks, he found himself feeling more focused, less stressed, and more at peace, even without running a single mile. There's real science behind what Bill experienced. Deep, slow breathing activates the body's rest and digest system, lowering stress hormones, improving oxygen flow, and helping the heart and mind work more efficiently. It's a simple habit that can improve mood, sharpen memory, and even support better sleep, all without putting strain on the body. Now, Bill's breathing practice is as natural to him as his morning cup of coffee. Sometimes he pairs it with short guided meditations, focusing on gratitude for the day ahead. Other times, he simply sits in silence, letting each breath relax his shoulders, loosen his muscles, and clear his thoughts. If you've been feeling tense, low on energy, or overwhelmed, try Bill's method. Find a quiet spot, close your eyes, and take slow, deep breaths for just a few minutes. You might be surprised at how something so gentle can make such a big difference. In the right moments, your breath can be the most powerful tool you have for restoring both body and mind. Point 5. Nurture connection. Arthur, an 83-year-old widower, had always believed that staying active physically was enough to keep him healthy. For years, he went to the gym, took brisk morning walks, and prided himself on maintaining a strong body. But when his wife of 50 years passed away, he discovered a different kind of emptiness, one that no treadmill or weightlifting session could fill. The days felt longer, the house quieter, and even though his body was moving, his heart felt still. For months, Arthur kept to himself, thinking that time alone would help him heal. But instead, the loneliness deepened. Then one day, he saw a notice at the community center for a local book club. Reading had always been one of his quiet pleasures, so he decided to give it a try. That small choice began to change everything. At the book club, Arthur found himself surrounded by people of different ages and backgrounds, all eager to share ideas and laughter. Discussions about stories turned into personal conversations, and soon he was looking forward to these meetings each week. Not long after, he began volunteering at the community garden. Working side by side with others, planting flowers, pulling weeds, and sharing coffee breaks, gave him a sense of belonging he hadn't felt in years. Arthur's experience reflects what research has shown for decades: meaningful social connections can improve mood, sharpen memory, and even support physical health. Regular interaction with others lowers the risk of depression, reduces stress, and may even help you live longer. For older adults especially, these connections can be just as important as exercise or diet in maintaining overall well-being. Today, Arthur still goes to the gym and takes his walks, but he also makes time for friendships and community activities. He has learned that a strong heart isn't just about physical fitness, it's about emotional connection. If you've been feeling isolated or missing companionship, take a small step toward connection. Join a club, volunteer, call an old friend, or even strike up a conversation with a neighbor. The joy that comes from being seen, heard, and valued can lift your spirit in ways that nothing else can. Just like Arthur, you may find that the warmth of human connection is the missing piece that makes your golden years truly shine. Point 6. A new chapter of vitality. Aging is not the end of living fully, it's a new season, filled with opportunities to care for your body and soul in ways that truly fit where you are in life. The stories of Ruth, George, Eleanor, Bill, and Arthur show us that staying healthy after 65 or 75 isn't about keeping up with the pace of our younger years. It's about listening to our bodies, honoring our limits, and choosing habits that make us feel alive without wearing us down. Ruth's intentional walks remind us that movement can be gentle and joyful, not rushed or forced. George's gentle yoga proves that flexibility and peace of mind are possible at any age. Eleanor's light strength training shows that building resilience doesn't require heavy lifting, it's about steady, safe progress. Bill's deep breathing teaches us that calm and energy can come from something as simple as a few mindful minutes each day. And Arthur's connections show us that health is more than muscles and joints, it's also about the people who share our journey. These habits aren't about doing more, they're about doing what truly matters. They help us move better, think clearer, sleep deeper, and feel more connected, not just to others, but to ourselves. Even small changes can create big shifts over time. As you move forward, think about one habit from these stories that feels right for you. Maybe it's a walk in the morning sunshine, a short stretch before bed, a few minutes of mindful breathing, or calling a friend for a heartfelt chat. These simple choices, done consistently, can make your golden years brighter, healthier, and more fulfilling. Now I'd like to hear from you. Which one of these habits are you most inspired to start? Share your answer in the comments below. I'd love to know how you plan to bring more vitality into your life. And if you found these stories helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can continue this journey together. Here's to living with joy, purpose, and the energy to enjoy every moment you've been given.